Hey everyone, Daniel Ramsey, Scott Pierce here is here with us today, and he is doing this webinar and going over the tools inside listings of leads. We're going to talk about generating more listing leads. I know we start out with another topic, the content repurpose, and we're going to actually push this to another week, maybe next week or the week after, because we got lucky enough to get Scott here to go over listings to leads. I'm really excited too because he's got 9 years of building marketing for real estate companies. Is that right, Scott? Like, give a little history of your background and like how you started listings leads and why and what you have going on.
Hey, Daniel. Yeah. Well, how did I start listening to lead? Well, I was a real estate agent. Then I started doing the director of online marketing for 4 Sotheby's offices, like 2007, 8, 9. And when we started doing some really cool stuff with Craigslist and some stuff online, we just blew it out of the water. And quit and started the company, and that was at the height of the stock crash freeze of whatever that was, 2009, right? I mean, it was literally the same month that happened. I'm telling my wife I'm quitting Sotheby's, and I'm going to be starting my own company with a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old in the house. And yeah, it's been good ever since. Why wouldn't it be?
One thing that we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the 5 or 6 tools that you have to use if you're using listings of leads. They're basically the best tools inside listings of leads and the ones that are the most used. However, we're going to go over this. There's a bazillion different tools out there inside listings to leads to use. So we're going to go over the most popular and then how you might actually use those. We're actually also going to talk about how Scott and I create a little bit of a partnership where our virtual assistants are using your system and actually helping clients who need that. So we're going to talk about how a virtual assistant can help inside the listings to leads platform. We're also going to talk about how to leverage social media. We're also going to have to talk about how to drive leads via Facebook, which is a huge hot button topic. And Scott, you said something to me the other day that you believe your company is like the best, world class, basically at this one thing, and also on the cutting edge. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, talk about that. Well, I mean, we're doing full solo leads like at $2 a full solo lead, sometimes even a little bit cheaper. The buy side, we're blowing it up. I mean, our clients, we have a secret mastermind group, secret, you can't even get into unless you know about it, and you're a client of ours. But it's absolutely just blowing up. Full buyer leads, full seller leads, less than 50 cents a buyer lead, less than $2, around $2 a full seller lead. I mean, it's just absolutely awesome. And the way we do the tools, a lot of these landing pages are created automatically. So it's like, boom, I need a landing page for X neighborhood or X city. Literally, you can create it and have it on Facebook in like 10 seconds, generating full seller leads, generating full buyer leads. So it's absolutely just awesome and brilliant.
Yeah, well, and so basically, as a real estate agent, you don't have to be a master at marketing. You can just use listings to leads and then generate listing leads.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you can generate it on demand. I mean, I want to generate some seller leads for this neighborhood. Boom, boom, boom. I'm generating seller leads for that neighborhood. I want buyer leads for this area. I mean, within a few minutes, you can have the stuff out the door and on Facebook generating buyer leads.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's dive into some of the tools right now. Let's talk about what you believe the top 5 tools are, and then all the things that you can do inside of them. Like, first one is the lead capture. Give us a little background on that.
Yeah, so the landing pages for property valuation landing pages and nearby sold home landing pages, these landing pages are set up to capture full seller leads from the get-go. They can be modified, and there's a lot of different things that you can do and some clients do with them, but those are the things that are just are going to bring in the listing leads. But what's really interesting, we found this out 3 or 4 years ago, is when you try to generate seller leads in a vacuum, i.e. I'm not marketing listings, it's more expensive. So just listed marketing, coming soon marketing, open house marketing, just sold marketing. When I can market listings at the same time I'm marketing an ad for a property valuation offer, right, to generate seller leads, my overall cost of leads generated is going to plummet a lot. All right, and so even if you're a top agent, right, make sure you're marketing your listings like Daniel's showing there on the just listed, coming soon, open house, and just sold. If you're a new agent, you don't have any listings, start borrowing listings. You can borrow listings for open houses, for just listed, and help other agents. But yeah, those tools right there, in and of themselves, will move your business.
You know what I love about this, because what you said is so true. Even for myself, we have a cabin up in Tahoe, and one of the only emails that I always look at is like what just sold in that neighborhood, because I'm always just curious. So every single email that I get from her that is just sold, I'm like, okay, what happened? How close is that to mine? You know, and so it's probably one of the best ways, and I just agree with you wholeheartedly about that. Let's so talk about the property evaluation landing page. Like what does this do? How does it work? And then we're going to dive into like how, you know, once you've generated a lead, what's next. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah, that's the landing page that was created about 5 seconds yesterday on a webinar that I was actually doing, a live training webinar. And you can see there's a property address form field. But what's really cool about it is that button. As soon as that button, the red button there is clicked, and this sounds crazy, as soon as that red button is clicked, a full seller lead is generated, address, name, and email, because we're pulling from Facebook, the name and the email of the person that clicks the button. And so, I mean, literally, someone types in an address, they click the button. In the past, that would have been a partial lead, and agents are tired of them, they're sick of them, or they'd have other landing pages with like 3 or 4 things that the person had to fill out, and so they weren't generating any leads whatsoever. This is pure gold right here. They type in the address, they click the button, you just got a name, email, and address. And if you got a partial to full lead converter attached to this, which we offer, phone number, how much their mortgage is, I mean, you're getting a ton of information with the click of one button right there from the lead. So it's absolutely awesome.
Based on like, when somebody, you've got a ton of clients using this, I'm guessing, and so once somebody's put their address in and they hit the button, like what are the next steps as the agent? Do you give them a call right away? Do you kind of do a little research on the property? Like what do you do? What's next for you in this process?
You know, a lot of agents do a lot of different things. Obviously, we want to recommend that you email them. You know, obviously, there's a default autoresponder that will go out to the person right away. We integrate with most CRMs so that, you know, get dropped from the Wise Agent, Top Producer, Boomtown, whatever you're using, Conversion. But yeah, obviously the follow-up, you know, if you got a phone number to call, email, phone number, maybe also text. But yeah, the follow-up, and that's where, I mean, we all know how many agents fail at that, right? They fail at the follow-up. And so we do a lot of training on both follow-up and doing the ads themselves.
Okay, cool. And then you have another. Talk about this one, the nearby sold home landing pages. What does this do? What does this do?
Yeah, this is actually the landing page that we just looked at, and this one are similar landing pages. This is going for nearby sold homes, but this is a custom version of the landing page. So just like the property valuation landing page, you see that's actually a video to the left of the lead form. Same thing here. They put in the address. They click the button. You just got an address, a name, and an email. You just got a full lead, right, from a nearby sold homes landing page right there. And so here we're offering, you know, a lot of the times the what is your home worth, right? And it's funny because every month somebody comes into our mastermind group. Oh, that's played out. 2 minutes later, somebody comes in. I just generated 30 seller leads, and I've got 2 listing appointments, and I've got a new listing coming up. So it's only played out if you're not trying, right? But nearby sold homes, it's a different message for homeowners to keep trying to generate seller leads with just a little bit of a different message.
Yeah, it's great. Well, and I like it because you might not want to care what your home is worth, but you might actually want to know what's sold in the neighborhood. And so.
Oh yeah. And for example, maybe you got a little, you know, talking about the content repurposing that we were going to talk about initially, but you may have a market report video that you do. A lot of agents do those, and that market report video could be right where you see the housing minute. So, you know, combining media, combining content to generate leads, it's awesome stuff. And we totally help out with that, just in addition to generating the leads themselves.
And how hard is it to set this up? Like if I'm not a client right now, if I don't, and guys, if you're on this webinar, again, this webinar is how to generate more listing leads, and this is what we see as the biggest challenge from going to I'm a real estate person, I'm a single agent, and I want to build a team. Like building quality listing leads and building quality a listing pipeline, it's the #1 challenge to make that jump into like a higher caliber of a real estate company. And so that's why we've got Scott on today. I know this might be a challenge for you to think about. But what's important here is these are some really amazing tools that you can use to capture more and more business to grow your team. And so if you're here with us today, don't leave us. Put your cell phones down. If you have questions, you can actually go into the right-hand side or the bottom and actually type in your questions. We've got Scott Pierce here, so he's the founder and the owner, and like been doing this 9 years. So if you have specific questions, or you just want to ask about another tool, or ask about another thing marketing thing that you'd like to kind of try out in your neighborhood, this is the place to do it. We've got 100% all access. He's going to answer any questions that you have. He's actually manning the question, and he's ready for them. But what do you do? I mean, these are both great options, but we're going to go into the next thing. So you can actually tie this all into Facebook. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Facebook, whether it's Facebook or Google or anything, what have you, just the ability to be able to generate full buyer leads, full seller leads with literally a click of a button, it's just absolutely crazy. And so we're totally taking advantage of that, totally setting it up where the default settings, as these things are created within the system, that they're just set up for you, ready to start using. So yeah, again, it could be Facebook, it could be direct mail, it could be Google AdWords, and Brendan, I will smile. Thank you very much.
And I'm plugging in my laptop. I just got a warning saying, hey, if you don't plug in now, it's going to go away.
Oh, okay. Right now. We did leave you completely.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm not leaving anything. This is too good to leave.
Yeah. Actually, I just saw a question come through, and I'm going to actually answer it while you're going away. There's a lot of landing page vendors that are not real estate specific, and which are fine. But if you are looking, so someone asked, well, what's different between listings to leads and other non-real estate specific vendors? And the difference is to have landing pages that are what you need as a real estate agent, that are teed up, geared up, and ready to start rolling with right away. Because Daniel's going to show some other slides here, and we show them in our training webinars. And Brendan's on this call, one of our clients, and I think I see Mike on the call, another client of ours. These tools, as soon as they're generated, they're ready to start using for real estate. It's not like I got to go in, then I got to set it up the way I need it set up, and this and that, and kind of work through that. And there's enough of that kind of stuff to do in your daily life. You don't need that in your marketing tools that you want to start using to generate more business. So great question, and I'm perfect to answer that. And you see that, Daniel, 143 leads last week from Brendan there? In the question box. Yeah.
That's nuts, man. That is nuts. Well, and you know what go ahead.
No, that's just some people. I'm reading the comment here from the people here on the call. Brendan just put in 143 leads generated last week. So yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Well, and I'm glad that's confirmation of what we're doing. But Scott, tell us, because once you've generated the lead, let's say, like your friend there, that's a client, he's generated 100 plus, 140. What's the system? What's the next step that you need to have in place as a real estate agent, so you're not generating a bunch of leads and then not doing what you need to do to move those forward? What would you suggest the next steps are?
Well, you better have a CRM. And it's funny because we purposely don't get into the CRM stuff because it is just like listings to leads is so important to your business. A CRM is so important to your business. And we could do a half-assed CRM if we wanted to, but when you got Lion's Desk and Wise Agent and Top Producer and Boomtown and these other amazing CRMs. So almost every CRM is integrated with listings to leads, or vice versa, however you want to say that. So it's getting those leads into that CRM automatically, right, which will happen most of the time, and having a process in place for follow-up. You know, and again, most of those CRMs offer that kind of a thing. We've got some amazing follow-up for email, print, phone scripts that we make available to our clients. But yeah, 143 leads is great. But if you got 143 leads and nothing's happening with them, you're wasting your time. Brendan's a great client. I know Brendan. I'm sure he's got great follow-up. So I trust that he's following up with all of those leads.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's another piece. I know a lot of agents will try something for like 60 or 90 days and then say, oh, it doesn't work because they don't have the proper follow-up system. Like they don't have the combination, like you had said, you know, email, text message, phone calls, put them in the CRM, put them in a long-term drip, because although they registered, you know, for whatever information you're putting out there in terms of marketing, they might not be ready like right now. They may be thinking about, you know, like it's right now the end of summer, so you know, school's starting. They might be thinking about doing it next year. And so as a business person, you've got to have a long-term follow-up campaign, you know, put in place, and realize that out of those 143, you know, maybe only 20 or 30 are ready to talk to you right now, but everybody else, there's still gold in that, in all those leads, because at some point they're going to be doing something. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I try to tell people individual leads don't matter, right? So you got a lead, don't even worry about the lead, right? Get the lead, let the lead flow through your CRM, let it flow through the follow-up process. If somebody tells you to get lost, don't worry about it. If somebody tells you, they give you a wrong phone number, who cares? It's a numbers game, right? So you just generate the leads, you have the systems in place for follow-up, the numbers will take care of themselves, right? So I always, you know, when agencies, they get their feelings hurt because someone unsubscribed or they told me they don't want to hear from me, you know, you're a business person. Business people get their feelings hurt all the time, and they just move on with it. So Brendan may have 143 leads. 2 or 3 of those people may tell Brendan to get lost. So what? They just don't want to work with you right now, right? But just make it a business. Don't get your feelings hurt, and also don't get too excited, right? Because you might have generated 143 leads, but again, who cares until that turns into business? So generating leads is great, but that's why we also integrate with these CRMs and provide, you know, try to provide as much follow-up information as possible, because generating the leads, cultivating the leads, and then closing the business. That's where you make your money.
Right. And one of the things that we're talking about today is building out a listing pipeline for folks, and one of the biggest parts of that is the phone calls. And if you don't have a phone system in place, another big area is, I like CRMs that integrate with phone systems, because then you can see, you know, this lead came in 2 weeks ago and we've sent text messages and we've sent 4 emails, and I've tried them 7 times on a phone call. I'm going to try them another 4 or 5 times, but I'm going to spread them out and I'm going to calendar them. So a big part of the success in this is the system that you create. And I love that you were able to name the you know, like $2 for a seller lead. The reality is that if you generate, you know, let's say you generate, I don't know, 300, that's still $600, and you want to squeeze every dollar out of every single one of those leads. And I like the CRMs that have a full integration with the dialer, with the emails, the text messages, because then you can really, you know, at a glance, see how much activity has gone into converting every single lead, or all of the leads generated in a particular time frame.
Yeah.
So I think that's another big piece. Let's go to the next one. So these are some examples, and I love Scott. You know, you guys, if you know him, he's a very humble guy. He's just very smart, and so we were talking, I think yesterday or the day before, and I was like, okay, we need to narrow this down to 5 of the most amazing tools. And he's like, Daniel, there's more than 5. I can't do that. And so here's the slide where we've kind of negotiated a bit, and we're talking about just listed marketing. But on the left here is all of the things you can do with just listed. And this isn't even the whole list. This is just some of it. So Scott, talk about this one and how an agent might use this to generate leads and what's important about this.
Yeah, it's funny because people come into Listings to Leads and get on a webinar and a mastermind group, and they want to gravitate to Facebook ads right away, and that's awesome. I mean, that's good stuff. And the bottom right screen image there is of a listing landing page. But I tell people, it's like, you don't know where your next business is going to come from. People are all over the place, right? We're looking at print materials there. We're looking at Facebook ads there. We're looking at some other things in there, and the list is even longer. And, you don't want to rely on Facebook entirely, right? What happened to all those people? Remember all those coaches and everything that were out there telling you to post to Facebook 500 times a day a few years ago, right? What happened to all that kind of stuff? So you don't know how long is Facebook going to be around for. We expect it to be around for a long time, but you don't know. You never want to have all your eggs in one basket. And all of these tools, I'm not going to name names, but most of these tools were generated with real estate agents who are almost household names that some of you on this call would completely recognize their names. So most of these tools working down that list there were developed, and I think that's one of the cool things about our company is I'm the founder, I'm the guy in charge, but I consider myself the head of support, and I also am liaisoning in the mastermind group all the time. So I'm completely engaged with our clients, and so you may do a Facebook ad, but there's more than what's on this list here as far as things you can do that are viable to generate buyer leads and seller leads, or off your listing. Mm-hmm. And that's just one status. We're going to show some other statuses, I think. But keep in mind, the marketing and lead generation opportunities are just huge, for every single status for the listing there.
When I think what you're saying is like don't get wowed by one particular channel in your marketing, because you want to hit everybody because everybody does it differently. And also I think the more that you have out there, the wider your net is, the more possibilities of like catching simply a larger market.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
and to us, marketing is fine, but you're not rich enough to do marketing, right? No agent is rich enough to do marketing. You got to do marketing with lead generation, right, together. So, Apple can go do a billboard and just have a picture of the iPhone up there, and they got billions of dollars. They can do whatever they want. For an agent, though, if you're going to do any kind of marketing, it better have a lead generation component with it, right? Because we don't have unlimited dollars. And so whether it's a virtual tour, a single property website, or any of those tools on that list there, they've all got a very strong call to action and lead capture component to it, so that we are generating leads every which way possible. All right.
Yeah, it's funny is I was reviewing. We have a couple new sales folks that help with consultations, and I was reviewing one of her calls, and she's really bright, really promising, and she asked a great question because it was a consultation. So when we do a consultation, we're diving into like, how do you generate business? What are your goals for the year? What does your team look like? What are the systems you're using? We do a full-on, it's almost like a coaching call for leverage, because that's what we are. We're a virtual assistant company. We help people grow their businesses, and we love using platforms like Listings to Leads because it's very systematized and it's automated. And this agent that our person was talking to said, "Oh yeah, I'm also on the shopping carts at Safeway." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, my face is on the shopping carts." And our gal was like, "Well, has that generated any business?" And he goes, "No, but people tell me they shop with me all the time." And I just don't. I'm with you, man. Unless it's converting into cash or into a potential listing, I'm not interested. And that's a huge lesson if you're trying to grow a real estate team.
Yeah, so yeah. If you got the money and you want to blow it, go for it, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
too
Let's
cheap.
go on to
I'll tell you, I'm too cheap for that kind of stuff.
yeah. Yeah. So talk about this coming soon landing page. Like, how does this work, and what's important about this?
Yeah, I mean, again, talking about the Facebook ads because that's what's pretty hot right now, and I mean, this is absolutely blowing it up right now for our clients. Um, Again, there's not even anything on this page to fill out, right? It's mobile responsive, full screen landing page right there. I got a countdown clock counting down to the time and date of the when that listing is going to go into the MLS.
Mm.
It's not, it's kind of funny. You see, if you can see it on the screen, I'm not sure what people can see, but right below the countdown counter says text 1006 to 25678. We found about 10% of the people, right? Let's say that's a Facebook ad. About 10% of the people will actually text versus clicking the button because they don't want to lose their place in the newsfeed. And so they just look at that and go, oh, I can send a text. They open up their messaging app and they send a text
Yeah.
versus trailing off of Facebook, clicking the button, right? Which is kind of funny. But again, as soon as somebody clicks that button, I got their name, their email, and of course the listing address that they came in off of. So I'm generating full buyer leads with the click of a button.
Well, and what I love about this, and I used to do this a lot, we would advertise prior to a listing coming out on the market, and you have to check your MLS and the state laws because there's different ways to do that. But
Right.
we would do that because, we had a team. We had a lot of buyers agents on our team, and they wanted opportunities to sell that property before it hit the market.
Yeah.
And those, I was the listing agent, they were the buyer's agent, and the reality was, when you double end your deals, that's phenomenal. Not only is it great for the seller, it's great for the buyer, it's great for the company, and I know some people don't agree with that. They don't want dual agency, and I understand that it's just a different business choice. We would just act with integrity and do so, according to all the rules, and really just serve our clients. But
Yeah, that's one of those things I try to stay away from as far as arguing pro or con on that. But I'll tell you what's kind of funny. Every so often I'll have a client come through and they'll go, we just sold our listing in like 3 days and we're kind of bummed out because we really love how we can generate a lot of business using listings to leads. And that we sold the listing so fast, we lost a lot of opportunity to market it, right? I'm like, that's pretty awesome. To have someone tell you they're kind of bummed out about selling the house too fast because they didn't get enough time to market it through your platform, that's some pretty cool stuff right there.
yeah, and houses now, I'm talking to agents across the country, and houses are going for above list. It's a pretty nut. It's a nut.
Yeah.
It feels like we're back in 2005 and 6, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you, in our area, Daniel and I live in the same area, not too far from each other, and yeah, definitely.
Well, okay, so this is a great tool. Let's talk about the coming soon marketing, and what talk about all these different tools.
Yeah, just again, just like we had for just listed coming soon. It's a huge marketing and lead generation opportunity, huge opportunity to grow your business. Facebook ads are essentially the tip of the iceberg on something like that. But there are so many tools, there's so many avenues and silos, verticals, whatever you want to call it, in which to generate business from your coming soon listing. And here's the cool thing is, we've got specific tools that help generate seller leads off coming soon, off just listed, off open house marketing, right? So don't think, right, and we do webinars on this every week. Well, the only way I can generate a seller lead is from Facebook advertising. That's one way, but there are other ways within listings to leads. You don't ever have to be on Facebook, and you can be generating seller leads on a very consistent and regular basis, which this webinar is not for that, but I just want to kind of plant that seed in people's ears is you could be generating enough seller leads without ever being on Facebook. Now, I'm not going to recommend you do that because Facebook isn't such an easy way to do it, but I wouldn't only use Facebook to be generating buyer or seller leads.
Let me ask you another question. Maybe this is a best practice, but I look at all these photos and it's like beautiful homes, right? So and this is, Scott, this is a twofold question. Number one, you know, do you suggest like high caliber, high quality photos, like hiring a company, and then, you know, are there videos in that, and what does that look like? And then number two is, and this is a question for you, what if my house isn't like as beautiful as this Hidden Oaks home with a pool? Like, you know, that's a nice house.
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean, what do you do if the house, you know, is an okay house, or just a standard tract home, or like how do you do that? What's your suggestion?
Dude, you know what? This kills me with real estate agents. You are hired to get that home sold on the one hand, right, for the most money possible, and on the other hand, great images will always generate more leads and do better on in any kind of marketing. So I don't care if it is a 3-bed, 2-bath tract home, right, the same as every other home on the block and in the neighborhood. Professional photography is so key. Dude, I was the agent when I was still a young real estate agent, and I love photography. So I would take all my own shots for my listings, and finally my broker came up to me, and they were good, but my broker was not that kind of a broker. He was like very high standards, and he came up to me and was like, dude, by the way, your next listing, you're using, right, at worst, our in-house photographer, right, who was like the approved photographer for the office. But I mean, come on, people, you know, unless it's a double-wide trailer that's falling down and it's foreclosed, get professional photography. Find a friend who wants to be an amateur photographer who can take good photos. Pay him $50, right? But you know, whether you use them in your next listing appointment, you just generate more leads from online marketing. But to me, professional photography is like where it's at. And of course, listings to leads. If you're doing property videos, you're doing 3D tours, right? We support and we can integrate all of those things inside of our marketing tools.
Cool. And have you seen video being really successful, or what's your opinion there?
Yeah, I mean, the right video. I mean, if it's a video that's not relevant and not related and poorly done, then no. But video is awesome. I mean, if you got a good video that's if it's a property video, an area video, maybe you're doing a video in a Facebook ad and it's on point, then awesome. You know, and then here's the other thing: don't be afraid to you know, to get started with video. Right? We all hate video. I hate video. When I first did the video, I thought it was awful. But you just do it and you get better at it, and you know, pretty soon you're finding out, hey, that first video I did 3 years ago, who cares? They look awesome now and they're easy to do. Right. So video is fun. I love video.
Okay, cool. And you know, there's another piece. There's two camps, and I'm just curious what your camp is. There are folks that are like, I want to limit the amount of photos and videos and information, so they have to call me. And then there's the other camp that's like, no, I'm going to put everything out there. They can see it all. It's like they can go shopping right from their computer like anyone else. Like, what's your opinion around that?
Oh, you know, I totally am with both camps. I totally get it. Dude, when I first got into real estate, the guy I worked for was doing $2, $3, $4, $5 million homes. Right, we're talking 20,000 square feet homes in San Francisco. He'd only put 15 photos on the MLS because he wanted people to call him, right? Right. Don't tell me a 20,000 square foot home can't have more than 15 photos. Right. And then I see other people. They got a 2,000 square foot home. They got 55 photos, right? Like 7 or 8 photos of each third bedroom from different angles in an empty bedroom. So I would just say 1 photo per room that shows off the room real nicely. If it really needs it, maybe 2 or 3 photos of the room, like a living room or kitchen. Right. So don't overdo it, but you know, put enough out there. I would just say, you know, use some. It's a little bit of art, a little bit of a science. Right. But I think if you do professional photography and just make sure every room is represented at least by 1 or 2 or 3 photos, because you're trying to tell a story. Right? You're not trying to, you know, this is not like War and Peace kind of a story. This is a story that gets them to want more from you.
Right. Right. Yeah. I love it. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Open house. Now, we've done several open house strategy webinars. In fact, we've got some that we give away to clients when they decide to hire a virtual assistant, because our virtual assistants can actually call and dial the neighborhood. They can create all the Facebook and flyers and all the advertising inside listings to leads, so that it's a combination of like coming soon, and by the way, there's an open house, and by the way, who do you know in the neighborhood that you would like to be your neighbor? So we have a pretty comprehensive strategy around that, and
That's
so
awesome.
I'm really excited to dive in to how to leverage listings to leads to even juice that more. We have a client who utilizes this, and 40% of her business, and it's a large business, several hundred transactions a year, I think 12 different offices across the country. But what she does, which is really impressive, is she just I mean, markets like crazy before the house goes on the market and for the open house. Scott, what would you have her do inside listings to leads to juice more traffic to your open house?
Yeah, I mean, you got the landing page right here. You have invitations for nearby homeowners. You've got emails for your database. You got some things that you can do on Facebook as ads or postings. You got things for the seller to share with their friends. I mean, you're not leaving any stone unturned. And I think with the combination of all the tools and listings to leads, similar to the coming soon, similar to the just listed, and combined with what you're talking about, I mean, you're going to absolutely crush it. I mean, that's just, in fact, I've got something to say about using a VA, which I'll save it for a little bit later, maybe. But that I've looked at what you do, and dude, I was like, this is awesome. I mean, if you overlay that on top of what is available in listings to leads, that's what do you need, right?
Yeah. Because most people don't know until, like, I live in a great neighborhood, and it's downtown Sacramento. I like to actually look at open houses, but I never know that they're going on until I'm driving by. And usually I'm driving by with my kids or my wife, and they hate going to open houses. I'm crazy. I like to go to open houses.
Yeah. Can I give you something to think about?
Yeah.
Just live brainstorming right here real quickly with everybody. All right, open house is one status, but I would have, and maybe they are, I would have the VA call around the coming soon. I would have them call again around just listed. I would have them call again when the listing goes pending. Just want to let you know that 454 Maple Drive just went into contract and expected to close soon. And so, right, there's an awesome script you can work around that. And then have them call again when it's just sold, because in some of the marketing and some of the lead generation activities that we've got inside the listings to leads are for the nearby homeowners. And more of those nearby homeowners hear from you, i.e. your virtual assistant if it's not going to be you, or getting the tools from listings to leads that are meant for them. The more leads, more seller leads you're going to be generating. Because now I tell this to people, marketing is not a one-time activity. Marketing is not throwing up a property valuation landing page on Facebook. It's not throwing up a ad for your listing. It is about continually doing ads every week. Every week you got a new ad out there. You got a new listing that you're marketing, right? A new activity around that listing you're marketing. So it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go to Facebook and do an ad and let it run for a month and that's gonna be awesome, thumbs up, right? No, marketing and lead generation is continual activities repeated and fine-tuned as you're doing them. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to go off on a side note too much there, but.
No, well, this shows your brilliance. I mean, the reality is that's part of our strategy, to do all of that plus the phone calls. So we do all the online social media stuff. We do all the email flyers to both the database and the open house, because you're keeping track of who comes into your open house. You're keeping track in your CRM of people that register because they're looking for houses online. You're keeping track of anybody that in that neighborhood, because it's a neighborhood that you worked a lot, and so you call all those people. And a virtual assistant can do all of the work. I mean, that's what's beautiful about it. Yeah. Inside listings, you have all those tools, and then they can dial all of the neighbors and personally invite it. Here's how I would do it. I would just be like, hey, Scott Pierce is local real estate broker. He's excited to know that his neighbor has chosen him to be a real estate be his real estate broker, and he's going to be selling the house, and we'd like to personally invite you to choose your new neighbor? Who do you know that is thinking about moving into this neighborhood or is thinking about selling in this neighborhood? Those kind of questions can be so valuable. And I'll take it one level higher. We also suggest that you do a door knock to the couple hundred homes surrounding that house and do only a neighbor-only open house.
Yeah. I'm not going to name any company names or anything, but yeah, door knocking. I mean, that's the lost art of talking to people, right?
Yep.
The lost art. And yeah, I was a little bit guilty of this when I first got into real estate, and I quickly got out of it, which is your business, while, I mean, for me to say this sounds weird, but you got to get face to face with people, right? You can't do everything from behind a computer. You just can't. Yep. So, anyway,
it's a belly to belly sport.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
the online stuff. The online stuff is awesome, right? And it's part of it. But yeah, face to face, belly to belly. Looking at somebody, talking to somebody. That'll never go out of style.
Yeah. Well, and what's beautiful about this webinar, if you're listening, not only do we have that full strategy video that we've done, in addition to the listings, the lead stuff, and some tools around how to get the phone numbers and what dialer to use in order to get everybody in the neighborhood. So later on, if you stick with us, later on you're going to get, the free offers that we have, which are pretty phenomenal. If you decide to move forward. Let's go to the next one, open house. We already talked about all of these, which is great. But is there anything you'd want to add here?
No. The only difference is an open house sign-in form, so that when you're at an open house, dude, I was at a $3 million open house this weekend, kind of like you. My wife and I are coming back from Pete's on Sunday. Saw an open house sign, looked interesting, went in, and great agent. I mean, real nice guy, and quite a few people in there. Didn't have a sign-in form, didn't have any way of connecting with people that were there. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, right? I mean, we've got an online version. That middle thing you're looking at is the online version for the iPad or laptop or Galaxy Note, whatever you're using. There's also a print version, which is funny enough. A lot of people like using the print sign-in form for the open house. They think it's a little bit more easy, elegant, not having to hand off your iPad to strangers. But yeah, that's the only difference is the sign-in form right there. But yeah, I mean, open house marketing, lead gen, absolutely awesome. And I really push that to agents that don't have any listings. Start borrowing listings and start holding them open.
Yep, and start advertising them online. And if the reason that agent didn't have people sign in, there's really two. Either he's lazy or he doesn't know the right script. Because all I would tell people when we're doing an open house is like, hey, look, the seller loves their home. We really just need to keep a running list of people that come by. If you don't want us to send you anything, we won't. But I just want to make sure we know who's coming in the house. And then everybody just says, okay, I understand. We're a country of laws and rule followers. So I mean, it's a very simple thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we'd like to have you sign in. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's at the front of the house, right? We've got cookies. You can see the house, and all you got to do is put your name and sign. It's pretty simple. How do you? How's the just sold landing pages work? I guess we talked about this one.
Yeah, and this is one of those kind of cool things where we were talking about before about using non-real estate vendors for real estate marketing and lead generation. This landing page here, for example, similar to the pending. As soon as that listing status is changed to just sold, a property valuation landing page that leverages that pending listing or that just sold listing is automatically created. This also has the automated Facebook Connect lead form behind it. But to be able to, again, go to Facebook advertising, to go to your database, to go to nearby homeowners, to go to the seller sphere of influence via email and Facebook, right? All these other, platforms and lead sources, and just to let people know, hey, we just got another home sold in Granite Bay. Boom, recent home sales affect your home value. So, and this is completely all automatic. Right? I changed the listing status to just sold. Boom, this and a whole breadth of other tools are automatically created, and this is obviously going to be starting to generate you seller leads.
Right. And the point is, even if you don't have an active one right now, you can use this just sold to market any of your already sold in a particular niche. Yeah.
I love when we get new clients and they're on one of our webinars, and when I tell them, if you, in the last 2 months, any listing where you were the selling agent, right, where your buyers bought it, or you listed and sold maybe a few months back, go get them into listings to leads. Because if let's say your buyer bought it in June, well, that's just sold, right? I give just sold like 60 days, and if you're really hurting and you've got to have it, I'll give you the 60 to 90 day time frame. But 60 days, no problem, right? And start marketing that, because so many times agents, they might send out a couple of postcards and then don't get much from it. I'm telling you right now, run a Facebook ad with that, and you're more than likely going to start generating some really good full seller leads.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, and then the just sold. Here's some of the options here. I think this is great. We want to encourage you guys to ask questions. Again, we've got Scott here, which is unusual. He's going to answer anything, and he's a marketing genius. And this is the full list of tools. And the point here, I wanted to ask a little about referrals, how you could use listings to leads to generate referrals inside your sphere of influence. Like, talk about that. How does the referral and lead generation piece tool work inside listings to lead?
Yeah, we've actually got a ongoing long-term, you might call it referral, you might call it just database lead generation, right? Lead follow-up. We kind of actually bundled all of that together into one kind of a system that our clients use. It was kind of funny, one of our clients generated, after starting this, 2 weeks into it, had one buyer pre-qualified for $400,000 plus and had a listing at $500,000 plus, and both of those are a little bit above her average for her area. 2 weeks into starting using those tools. But another source of referrals, obviously, is from the seller. And in fact, we just had somebody in the mastermind group post in the last week or so. I need to find it, so I wanted to save that comment. But we've got tools that automatically go to the seller from the agents. So it looks like the emails coming from the agent. And it allows the seller to share on both Facebook and via email to their friends. Right. All automated, all different call to actions, and it goes over the course of the listing. It's a whole system that goes out to the seller, and it's awesome because I think the agent's doing it, but it generates listings and buyers from the seller's referral network, right? Gotcha. So there's yours, but then there's also the seller's referral network that you want to leverage. So right. Yeah.
And that tool is built in, and it's super easy. Yeah. And the point is, you're sending marketing to your existing database or your previous clients and telling them, "Hey, I'm awesome at doing this. I'm an amazing listing person. I'm going to sell your home fast for most money. Give me your referrals," basically.
Yeah. For any agents on this call, let me give you a little tip. Cancel any email newsletter type service you use and all that kind of stuff. You don't need it. You don't need it.
That's awesome. What would you put in its place? Your listings to leads?
Yeah, we got emails that suffice for that kind of stuff. That's a lot better. I guarantee you, a lot better.
I love your confidence. All right, man. So we're going to talk about who should use this program, and we've got kind of an interesting thing, because Scott has a bunch of our virtual assistants, and he actually has created a product for agents to, let's say you're doing 2 or 3 listings a month. The reality is you probably don't need a full-time virtual assistant to just focus on marketing, but you can actually go directly to listings to leads now, and they have a virtual assistant. And talk a little bit about that program, Scott. Like, if you're doing under 20 deals a year, 20, 25, but you want some help on the listings to lead side, you want some help marketing, you want to generate leads. How does it work?
Yeah, so we offer a managed service, $400 a month. We do all of the tasks related to what needs to be done inside the listings to leads. We do some other things that the agent needs. We do the Facebook ads, right? That $400 a month does not cover a Facebook budget. But it essentially allows agents the ability to get someone to manage listings to leads for them. It kind of works out. We don't guarantee, we don't promise, but we also don't nickel and dime. It comes out to like about an hour a day, right? So, you know, you get about an hour's worth of VA's time a day. They're running through listings to leads for you. They're doing everything that needs to be done. They can do a few other tasks for you as needed. They're doing the Facebook ads for you for the seller side and buyer side both. So they can call leads for you, right? So there's a lot of really good stuff in there that they can do for you. Yeah. Did that answer the question, I think?
Yeah, no, perfectly. And like, but that's, and just to be clear, like, if you need somebody to do, let's say you're a larger agent, you're like the guy that had 144 leads. Well, that can be overwhelming to generate 144 leads in 1 week. So if you need more assistance, whether it's running listings to leads or entering data into your CRM to kind of keep track of your clients, making the phone calls, we also have a virtual assistant that could help you full time. And that's the challenge between the two different kinds of services. I really love what Scott's put together. If you just need some marketing help, then that's great. But if you need help with making calls, any of your operations or admin stuff, or if you have enough business to need a full-time marketer, let's say you've got a team and you need multiple listings and multiple different things created. That's a good question too, Scott. If I have 10 different agents on my team, can we use listings to leads to market individually for those particular 10 different agents on the team?
Yeah, you could. You'd want a like a broker / team account versus an agent account. Yeah, but you totally could. Hey, and Daniel, do you trust me enough to let me say something here regarding VA service? And this is something that I've worked on for like 2 to 3 years in my own business, and I'm kind of getting there. For everyone out there, if you are, I think that you've got your systems in place properly, and how you're actually running a business versus just kind of doing what most people do, is if you can step away from your business for a day or two and nothing falls through the cracks, you're doing things right. You got systems in place, they're working for you, you can step away in an emergency, you can step away for fun, you can kind of do what you want within reason. And that's where I think having a VA in place, right, making sure your business is, that the essential things in your business are being run, right? How many times I hear in the summertime, agents are going, well, I'm going on vacation, so I need to stop all my marketing. I'm like, what are you thinking? Where do you think your business in the fall is going to come from, right? So go on vacation. Nobody's keeping you from going on vacation, but you better make sure that your business generating activities are being done, right? Even if you're not going to be there. And I think, I know most agents, well, I love working 90 hours a week. That makes, this is the passion I've got. Well, let me tell you something. I got a passion for listings to leads, but my passion is not to work 90 hours a week, right? I want a life, right? There's, we know the people out there that talk about this that I love. We want a life that we love living, right? No one has a passion to work 90 hours a week in anything, I don't think. So anyways, if you're thinking about a VA, whether it's our kind of small service or Daniel's bigger service, you got to be thinking in your head, how can I set this up, not tomorrow or next week, but in the next year, where I can just disappear for a couple of days and my business is going to run like a well-oiled machine. So anyways, that's enough on that. I just wanted to get that in there if you don't mind.
Well, no, I think it's great, and it's this slide is exactly that. If you had a system in place for your business, do you think you would sell more homes faster? Like that's, would you sell more, and the ones that you do sell, would you sell them faster? And so I think having listings to leads, and then having some, strategies, having some processes and systems, having good leverage on your team, it also speaks volumes to your clients, right? You're going on vacation, so there's nobody that's going to be able to help me with my questions. Well, that's no good. When you say, hey, I have an assistant, and if anything goes wrong, please feel free to reach out to him or her. That's going to wow your clients, and you're going to get more referrals. And I think when you handle yourself in that capacity, you're basically going to generate more business because people are going to be like, that person's got a real business, and you don't want. Scott, when you were talking about that, I was like, you want to own a business, you don't want your business to own you, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. When business owns you, you're trading hours for dollars, right? You're trading hours for dollars, and that's a really bad spot to be in, right? You want to be, anyways. I think we got it. I think we're good.
I think we are too. Okay, so we do have some exciting special tools, some giveaways, just for going through this with us. And Scott and I only kind of touch the surface on what is possible in terms of marketing. So, and this is a great quote, if you want to achieve success, all you need to do is find a way to model those who have already succeeded. And what I love is if you're struggling with generating quality listing leads, then Listings to Leads is the company for you. And if you need leverage, please give us a call. We're going to help. So what we're going to give you out here is an opportunity to do a 7-figure agent roadmap. And what that is it's a free consultation where we take a snapshot of where your business is today, understanding your strengths and weaknesses. We'll do an org chart together. We'll look through all the systems that you're currently using or not using but paying for, and we'll figure out, what we can do to take you from where you are today to the next stage of your business. We've broken down the real estate journey into 6 different stages, and we can identify in a second where you are in the stage. And then we also know what the next steps are to get you to the next level in your business. So we've done this exact same kind of consultation, the 7-figure agent roadmap, 4,000 times. We've served 4,000 real estate companies in the almost 10 years that we've been in business. And what's great is we're also going to give you copies of the slides. We're going to give you a job role checklist and a thank you for just doing a consultation with us. Because we know one of the challenges in the real estate world is you might know you want to grow, you might not know how you want to grow, or might not know what the next steps are. And so leverage is always the key to get to the next level, whether that's leverage of a system like Listings to Leads, or it's leverage of people to grow your business. So if you visit myoutdesk.com/L2L, that's where you'd register for the 7-figure agent roadmap. It's a free consultation, and we'll walk you through all of these things, and we'll talk to you about whether or not you need more marketing with Listings to Leads, whether you're ready for a full-time person or we should use Scott's service, which is, by the way, it's like borrowing talent. Scott's trained these people. They've been with him a long time. They know the system inside and out, and so if you're not ready for that full-time commitment, he's got a great platform to help to just basically generate more listing leads. So I think it's a great thing. We also have this free offer for anybody who's a client. Listings to Leads is giving a 90-day. If you're already a Listings to Leads client, we're sorry this isn't part of it. But if you're new to Listings to Leads, we're giving you 90 days free when you hire one of our virtual assistants, which is, we've got to thank Scott for that because that's a very generous offer. We also, if you're going to employ that open house strategy where you're calling the neighborhood and doing some door knocking, you need to know the addresses and phone numbers and names. So Sales Dialer and along with Agent Circle Prospecting, which is a software, is giving us 90 days free. So I'm really excited about this partnership because most of the folks that come to us, they're like, well, how do I call them? What do I do? And so this is another really great opportunity to kind of accelerate your listing leads. We also have a partnership with FirePoint, which is a CRM. I like their CRM because, as I mentioned before, you can dial from it, you can text from it, you can set an automated email responder. It's very team management and reporting ROI specific. So they have a free offer where we're waiving $300, and then Land Voice for FSBOs, expireds. There's really, in my mind, if you're in real estate, and Scott, I'd like to talk to you about this because I think this is a really big deal in generating listing leads. But if you're in real estate, you need a marketing platform like Listings to Leads, number one. Number two, you have to do open houses and door knocking. I mean, I'm not saying you have to do it every single day, but I'm saying that's one of the fastest ways to guarantee business. One stat that I'd like to share with everybody on this call is that 40% of home buyers are actually home sellers. I mean, I own a home. For me to buy another home, I need to sell my home. So I'm going to look for homes first to buy before I sell my home. And so it's a massive thing. I think
buyer leads. Yeah. So and the large percentage of buyer leads are going to be sellers also.
That's right. Well, and it's 40% right now in this market. Yeah. So because the baby boomers are either downsizing or upgrading, and the millennials and all the Gen Ys and X, they're not buying homes. The people that are buying homes are in the 30 to 50 range, and they typically have a home to sell. So that's a big deal. And then the last place is Land Voice and the for sale by owners. Like, look, these people most probably wanted to sell their home and they couldn't, and there's only two reasons. It's either the price was wrong or the marketing was wrong. So the price was too high for the condition of the home, or the condition of the the home was like in bad shape, or some combination of that. And then the other is that they didn't have good marketing. And so expireds and FSBOs are a great opportunity to earn people's business by just giving them a call, sending them some marketing. And I think those are right, Scott? Those are the ones.
Yeah, and we got FSBO and expired marketing tools for you to take advantage of. We have clients who just make a business going after FSBOs and expired using us and services like Land Voice. So, using Land Voice with listings to leads, using FirePoint with listings to leads, using some of these other tools with listings to leads, the open house marketing module that Daniel was talking about. Yeah, come on. Give it. To me, this is the kind of thing that, and I don't owe Daniel anything, but I'm just saying, if I had the budget for it, this is stuff that's proven. I want to grow my business. Like I said, do I want to do all this stuff by myself? Not really, right? Not really. Maybe I will for the person, just so I understand what's happening, kind of, sort of. But do I want to handle that long term? Not in your life. Not in your life.
Well, and I think it's good too to you mentioned it. It's not dollar productive activity, right? The only thing that is dollar productive activity is the belly to belly, face to face work, and
that's where an agent should be. Yep.
Yeah, and that's where we shine too, Scott. We're best when we're in front of somebody building rapport. So I think this has been fun. Scott, is there anything you'd want to end the webinar on?
No, I think we covered a lot of great stuff. I'm super excited to be on the call with you. Glad to see a few of my clients. A lot of people here that I don't know, so good to see everybody, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, how would a person, if they wanted to get, I know listings to leads, you guys have a phenomenal website, but how would a person get more information, and what does it cost, and like if I wanted to get started? Let's end with like just telling people how to get a hold of you, Scott, because your company is great.
Yeah, listingstoleads.com is a website. $30 a month for 0 to 10 listings, where the landing pages are unlimited. So you get unlimited landing pages with listings to leads. And if you want to see all those tools that Daniel was showing a little earlier, kind of throughout the presentation there, if you're at listingstoleads.com, there's going to be a button on the kind of the upper right-hand corner. Click here to see all tools. I think it says in yellow. Yeah, just click that, and you can kind of take a run through of all the different tools that we offer for both listings, landing pages, sellers, buyers, lead follow-up. There's a lot of stuff there.
That's awesome.
And one thing that a lot of our clients say is it's almost too cheap at $30 a month for up to 10 listings.
Well, I would be lying if I didn't. When you said $30 a month, I was like, man, it's like a no-brainer. You should have this system regardless. It should be built into your. Yeah, it should just be built into your budget. But Scott, hey, thanks for dropping all this knowledge on us. And if you're listening today, we're going to do a content repurpose webinar coming up soon. So look for that email. We're going to talk about using some of these tools and videos and creating a massive content play for your website to lead capture. Scott, this has been an amazing webinar. I think it's going to be very helpful to all of the folks that listened and everybody that we send out to an email. So thanks so much for your time today.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody on the call as well. Good to hear from you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.